This is Joycey,
and Blake.
and welcome to Savagely
Savagely
Scaled.
Scaled.
All right, guys. In this episode, we're going to be checking in on our goals from last month, seeing how we're doing, if we made some progress or not. So let's see what we got into this month.
Yeah. February is such a short month.
Bro, the year's flying by already. It's insane. I'm
Yeah.
like, how are we close to we're in mid-February already.
I
I
know.
feel like Christmas is not that long ago.
Yeah. It's crazy because I'm even looking at the calendar and things that we have shortly coming up next month. And I'm just like, wow. It's
Like the
crazy.
competition
Yeah.
and the open.
All
There's so
kinds
much
of
going
stuff.
on.
I feel like, so March, we have some sit downs and my
We
birthday.
do. And my
My birthday. And then April is my competition. And then May is your competition.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, right before that, we have the open at the end of February, at the beginning of March. Again, my birthday at the end. And then April, the first part of April is my competition. And then May, we have a group trip, which I'm excited for. And then the end of May is your competition.
Right.
So these next 4 months are just already jam-packed.
Preparing. Yeah. We got a lot of things to prepare for. But it's kind of exciting because I felt like last year, well, not for you because you had things going on, but I felt like last year was lacking for me. I was like, there's nothing happening in my life. We need to pick it up in 2026. And I feel like we definitely have in all the good ways. And all good things take time. But I feel like this year is going to be our year. You're coming in with a silver medal, coming into a competition, do some more weightlifting with your family and loved ones. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, I just feel very, very excited, but it's only the second month of the year, and I'm like, I feel like I actually have my shit together. But
Tell me more.
last year, I felt like I had my shit together, and then remember the end of the year,
Yeah,
we both were like,
yeah.
when is it going to be next year?
We were ready for 2026. I was just like, this needs to finish.
Yeah.
Let's go.
But I do feel like, so January I did creatine. I'm still on the creatine train. I feel like I can understand it more with my body. I am not as sore. I can feel sore at times, but not normal how I used to. I don't know how to describe it. There's that, oh, I lifted really heavy yesterday, and then the next day where you can barely get up and move around, and I feel the soreness when I stretch, but it's not as much. And even when I wake up,
it's
I'm
more
not
manageable.
Yeah, and I know that kind of helps with it. I don't know if my butt feels different because I was reading something where your butt looks different, because the
Really?
water weight is going more towards your muscles, and I don't know. But it could be in my head because I just would like a really big butt. So
I'm like, well, I'm like, we ain't got that problem over here.
I know you don't.
I was must be all that creatine. Not just kidding.
And then this month I added the sleep where I was 9:30 going to bed. And I know some people could be like, that's still late. Well, my kids.
Have you been sticking with it though?
So majority of the month I have. Except for these last 2 nights. And it's just because I've had a lot this week with planning things for my kids. And being the last couple days, my shifts have been longer at the gym and trying to get everything ready. I have pushed everything to my nighttime ritual. So last night I went to bed at 10. The night before I went to bed at 10:30. And it's not the weekend technically, because that was my thing. I was like, okay, 9 to 9:30 on the weekday, 10:30 on the weekends. But yeah, the last 2 nights, and I feel it. I feel exhausted. I want to yawn right now.
It's okay.
But
Girl,
even
I feel
when my husband was home, he was going to bed at 9:30 with me.
Okay, I love that. I love it when your partner starts taking up those goals with you, and now both of you guys are trying to
So
hone in on that. That's awesome.
I feel more refreshed, or I felt too. These past 2 days have been draining me, but I have I felt refreshed all those days this month besides these last 2 days. So I'm going to be carrying that on to the month of March. Yeah.
Pile it on.
Yeah, right? Stacking it up. So for the month of March, my planning is because when I go into the gym and I work out, I stretch. I stretch for about 25 minutes to 30 minutes.
Mm.
Some people think I need to do more. I also don't want to stretch for an hour and then work out for an hour and a half or 2
Girl,
hours.
yes. It's crazy. I think I was talking to Coach Jason about like he's like, yeah, if I were in the gym actually doing my mobility before and after, he's like, I'd be here for 3 hours. Like
Oh
it's
my
just so
gosh.
hard to like
He goes like, I
I
hurt
had
my back, and you could be like, how'd you hurt your back? He's like, because I
I
stretched.
didn't stretch. Oh, I don't know about that. I was like, because you didn't stretch?
No, he's
Because I was
always like
telling
the
him,
last time he was in the gym. I think Maggie even quotes it sometimes is he was like, "Oh my gosh, I hurt my back really bad." And she's like, "What happened?" He goes, "I actually did my mobility and then worked out." And like we have this argument because he has a disc that pops. I just feel like when you get older and you live, your discs just tend to like be like, "Here I am, here I'm not," you know?
girl, that's scary.
So when you get to be like, 36, Joycey, stretch your back now.
Oh,
He
no.
I was like, "Well, I'm doing better and I have nerve damage." Okay. So like if I hurt it, it can go all the way down my leg, which is not good. We don't want that. So that's why I have to stretch a lot. And I do a lot of my back stretches and like threading stretches or
Uh,
whatnot it's called. And so I was like, you know what? It just because you do it one day doesn't mean it hurts your back. You need to do it all the time. He's like, no,
yeah.
no. But we also talk like him and I are like, oh, we do the CrossFit warm up and where it's like if they ask for 5, you do 2 or things like that. He'll do more. Um,
We need
but
more Jason. I
yeah.
feel like we don't get enough of Coach Jason
No,
at the
like
gym.
he's hilarious. He's
He is.
great at coaching. He's very mindful. I feel like he kind of, even though he might not say this or people just meeting him might not know this, but I feel like he tries to make everybody feel comfortable and can kind of give you pinpoints for each person in the room.
It's true.
You know,
Yes.
I know a lot of the King CrossFit coaches are able to do that. I just feel like he refines it to where he's like, oh, they need me to say this. So I can say it in this tone to where if you're talking to an older lady, he can really be more mindful. Like he's very mindful of people's, I don't
Like,
know.
of helping people feel secure. I feel like I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain it, but I felt like that the other day when I was lifting, and it's like he doesn't make you seem like he's hovering over you and looking
Mhm.
at you, but he still gives you feedback in a way where he's like, "I'm paying attention, but I'm not overbearing on you." I
Yeah,
feel.
and he's even like him and I can do a lot of like banter back and forth, like sibling banter back and forth. But like if he knows that I'm like having a rough day or I know he's having a rough day, like we don't push each other that way. And when I used to take his class,
Mhm.
it was very like, no, she's an athlete. I'm treating her like an athlete. Like it's not where oh Blake's in my class, I'll just make fun of her because that's just our relationship. It was very
Mhm.
like, okay. There was a point where I was having a rough day with my son in lifting and he was, I went to lift and he was sitting in front of me and he's like, "Take a second." He's like,
Aw.
"It's more because of what's going on around you compared to you not making the lift." And just like really pinpointed like it sucks sometimes to be a parent and lifting. And he can
Mhm.
pinpoint those things.
Right.
Chris can do it very, very well too. Like all of our coaches can. Yeah, Jason's just very different. And when you first meet him, you wouldn't think that because he's really
Right.
tall, looks athletically built. Unfortunately, looks older than he is, but he. But he is.
Good
He's a
guy.
really great coach. I really enjoyed taking his class. So when people get nervous and they're like, "This is first time," and I haven't had, I was like, "You're in great hands." Or when
Yeah.
people are like, "Oh, I have to go to
Right.
a noon class for Chris," and I'm like, "You're gonna be in great hands there too." And I'm like, "And it's a lifting day, you're gonna get even greater pointers." I was talking to one of the newer members that we have, and we were going through her week and I was like, "Oh, you're gonna have Andrew." And she's like, "Oh yeah." And I was like, "Yeah, he's really good. He's a newer coach, but the good thing about newer coaches is we want to fix everything or we see everything. And we want to make sure that we're going to be coaching you." And then she's like, "Oh, I think I'm going to go on Thursday." And I was like, "Oh, you're going to have Phoebe then." And she's like,
Maybe.
"Oh, is Phoebe really good?" I was like, "I love Phoebe classes." Phoebe classes are amazing. She's just, she's a different type of coach. And
Very
that's what I
fun,
love
carefree.
taking all of our
Yeah.
coaching classes because each one of us are completely different, but we can all lend something. So I'm really glad that you're working out with Dave and Jason. I used to work out with Dave
Yeah.
and Jared, and Jared was amazing too. Jared used to
Mm.
give me pointers too, or even when I would work out with Jason as well. Dave just is amazing to work out with. Like he's a great workout person or buddy, and just overall to me
Gives a lot
such
of
an
pep.
amazing coach, you know?
I agree. Yeah.
But going back to stretching, so I usually stretch, I do my workout. So for the month of March, I am going to be stretching afterwards. Now, sometimes Blake has to go and pick up her child. So that to me afterwards means can be after I work out or when I get home, I'm going to dedicate 30 minutes to stretching.
Okay.
Yes. And I've been doing that this month, but it's only been, I think, 2 days, maybe three.
Mm.
I'm not lying, Deacon. He was whining. Oh, tell them the truth. I've been doing about 2 to 3 days a week, hit or miss, sometimes depending if I'm tired,
Way to go.
right? But I do
I
wanna
can
do
tell.
that for actually 7 days a week for this month coming up.
Ooh,
It's a
spicy
lot.
spice.
I am gonna give myself some leeway because if I'm hitting that 9:30, right? But and I know I'm saying all these things and I'm backtracking. So I want 30 minutes, but if it's gonna cut into like my 9:30 bedtime and it's only 15 minutes, then I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna take the 15 minutes. I guess the overall goal is to stretch
Fair.
after,
Fair.
you know.
I love that.
I feel so
Well, if
much
you
better when I do it. It's just
that's
so
true.
hard to be like, I have to do it. I'd rather just lay in bed,
Or go do all the other hundreds of things that I need to do today.
right? That was like, I was just putting the kids' Valentine's presents together just now. Luckily, my kids were like, can we do it when dad calls tonight so he can see us open
Oh.
our presents? So I was like, yes, we can.
You're like,
Not to
"Why
mention
not?"
like the 200 cookies I baked because the
Oh my
gymnastics thing.
gosh.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, your Saturdays are now so jam-packed, dude.
Yeah, that's why, like,
It's crazy.
when I had texted you yesterday, like, I was so exhausted and I still had so much to do. I woke up
Oh,
at
babe.
6 this morning to try and finish even more stuff because I
Oh
was
my
just
gosh.
like, "Why
It's
did I
too
do
much.
this to myself? Why did I plan everything for Thursday and Friday when
Damn,
it's due on
girl. I
Saturday?"
got that.
Yeah.
Ugh, the struggle. Well, if you ever wanna go to a yoga class to do some stretching and stuff, I am with you.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
that
bound
would
to
be
check
good
it
too,
out.
huh? We'll probably
Could
have
do
to
a
do
girls' yoga
that
day.
next month.
Yeah,
That would be fun.
that'd be cool.
I'll
Yeah,
look
I
at
haven't
my
done a yoga class
schedule.
in so long. There you go. There you go. Gotta
Yeah.
start somewhere, girl, but 7 days, that's a commitment, dude.
It
I only do, like,
is.
10 minutes.
It
Yeah,
is.
but you can do it. If anyone can do it, it's you.
Yeah.
With all the time you spend in the gym.
I try not to, like, my whole thing is, like, I can be there for an hour and a half. There are some days that I'm there 2 hours because I am stretching, 'cause I have to. If I do not stretch, Blake's body, because of my back issues and my nerve issues, that means, like, I will not be able to sleep comfortably.
Oh, no.
Gosh, I'm not pronouncing words, it's hard for me anyways.
It's been a long
Yeah,
day.
it's
It's
just
all good, girl.
it's hard and walking around, it does so much damage if I don't do it, and it does suck. I was talking to
Mm,
somebody at the gym, I go, "You know what sucks is that I have to do this for the rest of my life if I wanna work out, if I wanna lift. I have to come in and actively come in
it's true.
30 to 45 minutes before anything and stretch, you
So
know?
much
It
time.
does. I can say like, "Oh, it won't happen to you," but as you get older, coming in and stretching is what we do. And our CrossFit classes
We
do
have
have
to.
warm up. We do have mobility, but it's not maybe what your body needs, you know?
Right.
And I can give the example of my back over and over again. Like doing press ups for me helps me. But when I was doing classes,
Mm,
like they don't do press ups, they'll do different mobility that's for the workout. And
true.
sometimes it's not a back mobility stretch. because we're trying to do ankle stretches to get you more
Or
in line
the
for,
squats.
yeah, we might be doing overhead stretches because we're doing overhead stuff. So my back is the important thing. So there was
True.
times when I was doing a different stretch than everybody. Is that okay? Sometimes I would just be really loud in class and be like, I'm doing this. This is not what is instructed. I know. Because sometimes,
Yeah, and I have seen
sometimes
that.
with you, people follow like
True.
the person who's been there the longest, and they're like, oh, that's the stretch we're doing. I've had that happen in class, or people have followed me doing stuff, and I'm like, it's not what
That's
you're doing. Yeah. So,
Bless you guys for all the patience you have with us too. I'm like, sometimes I'm like, man, this class is a hot mess. And you guys are just so patient with it. And I'm like, but it's fun. It makes it fun, I
yeah, there's some
suppose.
classes where you're like, I am really like rounding up kittens, or mice just
Oh,
scattering
yeah.
everywhere. And I'm like, focus back, please
I'm like,
focus back.
yay, class please.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, this week I didn't have anything like that. Sometimes those
That's pretty
classes,
good.
it's also because, like, I haven't seen them in a while, so I feed into it, or they haven't
Mhm.
seen somebody in forever. So then,
That's true.
yeah, I have to let some people be human and do it. It's,
True.
yeah. But how did this month go for Joycey?
It was actually a pretty good month, man. I got some goals in the bag this month. A little bit more goals than I would have thought. The water's going really well. I feel like I know I didn't realize what a significance drinking water would do in terms of like, yes, it's a lot of bathroom breaks. I'm not gonna lie. That's the only part that I find the most like annoying is like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom again.
Mhm.
But other than that, like in terms of just how my body feels, like I never thought feeling hydrated felt so good, but it does. And then I just feel like before when I would sweat, my lips would feel really chapped, and like now they don't. And I was kind of like, huh, that's interesting. And then also just like my skin, I feel has been doing a whole lot better because of the water content and everything. So
Mhm.
I feel like I'm definitely gonna carry that. I think right now I'm doing like 160 ounces of water
Oh,
a day.
yay! Which
Yeah,
is
which isn't
good.
that bad. I'm like, 4 of these bad boys, and I'm
Yeah,
good. So
which
that's
is
kind
good.
of how
Now
I
there
kind of
is, like, things of overhydrating, and then you could
right.
start to carry on the water, but I think 160 is really good.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's been going pretty well, and it was hard. It was really hard, I would say, the first week because I was like, I just feel like I'm drinking and I'm obviously not enjoying it, and my belly's just getting full of water. So it was like really rough the first week. And then after that, it just felt like my body was just used to it that when I wouldn't give it the 160 ounces, it was almost like, girl, we're shriveling up.
Yeah.
So it's crazy how much of a difference it does. And yeah, I feel like that one really is significantly one I want to keep doing. And then now that summer's gonna come, that's gonna be interesting to start kind of bumping those water ounces up. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. But aside from that, in the gym, things have been going pretty good. You were there in person when I synced some of my toes to bar.
You were,
I
and
think I
you've
had
been
class.
coming in and doing your February goal of that stretching and try to getting
That too,
more.
yeah.
So you have been putting it in,
I've been
and it
staying with
was like,
that.
I feel like you hooked onto those 5, and we just stared at each other, and we're like,
I
"Did
know,
you
we're like,
see that?" Yeah.
yeah, because like you said, every after class I've been doing like 3 times a week, I do some kind of core training
Mhm.
along with like my stretching. So that covers both of it. And then I feel like that helps significantly with my toes to bar. But in addition to that, I've had the honor of being invited to work out with Coach Dave and Coach Jason on Fridays and Saturdays. Although I have to wake up at 6 a.m., I was like, I'll take the sacrifice so long as I get to have the honor.
Yeah.
So I've been going and it's been helping a lot. And I had a workout today where we had, I think, to bar pull ups. And Coach Dave was just like, just try to sync, like, just do 6 and try to sync them as best as you can because the guys were doing muscle ups.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm sync 3 of my chest to bars together. And I was like, "Oh." So I'm seeing a lot of growth. And I don't know if it's the water, I don't know if it's the stretching, I don't know what it is, but it's working. And so right now I'm just kind of on a high on all of those things. But I feel like now it's just kind of, I guess I'm very motivated because I have NCC now. I have something to kind of work towards. And I'm kind of like, I need to get my stuff down and take it seriously. but then also I feel like my nutrition's been a little bit more on point. And I've been working a lot on like meal prepping and just sticking to the foods that I want. Cause honestly, I've realized how often I eat out. And
Mhm.
being a single young lady, it's so easy to just be like, oh, I'm not cooking for anybody. Like,
Yeah.
I just have to worry about me. And I just ordered out so much. And then I kind of have been focusing on just eating out less. And I feel like that's been helping. So I think this coming month's goal, aside from just maintaining the water and then hopefully keeping training with Coach Dave, is just to continue to be more mindful of my eating. I was considering possibly dropping alcohol, but I was like, that's going to be really hard for me. And then I'm going on vacation like in a week. So I don't know if I want if I want to
Yeah,
do
I
that just
was
this
like, and
month.
this is something to stack on top of for us to keep
Right.
for the remaining of the year. So that would be
That'd be a
the
tricky one.
the rest of the year, girl. And I was planning in May to drink some stuff, but
That's true. That is true. That's why I was like, I need to contemplate that one very carefully. I'm like, but I could always set something more like, okay, just once a month or
you
like,
could, you could
something like that.
You could. You can do like yeah, you could figure out something to where you're not
Yeah, I
like
need to figure that one out. But that's in the works, guys. It's in the
or you
thoughts.
can be like, I'm going to give that up, but for only special occasions. And those
Oh
special
yeah.
occasions
Like
are
with holidays,
birthdays
birthdays.
and holidays.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
I
you
like
can
that.
do that, because you can't, don't be like, today's Saturday.
That is so true. I love that idea. Kind of limiting it to just like birthdays, holidays kind of
Yeah,
thing.
you can start there.
Um, yeah, that's a good one. But that's nutrition wise. And then gym wise, like I really want to work on my overhead stuff because it's absolute garbage. So I'm practicing doing 3 like close grip overhead squats 3 times a week is kind of what I'm trying to do.
Hmm.
And just doing like 5 sets of like 3 reps and just seeing how that progresses. And then hopefully getting some weight on there because right now I'm just doing it with just the barbell and that's all I could really do.
That's what
Um,
it's hard. So
it's really
it
hard
might
and
just
it
be
feels
the
really
barbell
weird.
for a little bit and don't let it defeat you because it's a very hard movement. Just some
It
people
feels
can only
really
do it
weird.
with the PVC pipe.
Girl, and then doing it narrow grip is so hard. But that's the one I think Coach Day was like, that's the best way you're gonna learn. And I was like, fine. So I'm trying to incorporate that 3 times a week and then just getting my depth a little bit better. But with the stretching and that, I think that should significantly help. But that's my goal gym wise is just to
I
improve my
feel
mobility.
Yeah, I feel like what you can do, so like you really focus on abs for your
Toes to bar.
February, right? For toes to bar,
Yeah.
or we can just say for February. I feel like each month you can figure out something to either add to the abs or be like, okay,
Mm,
since I did abs February, I'm still going to be doing that accessory work, but now I'm doing
right.
overhead, right? I feel like that would,
Yeah.
and then focus on that for a whole month. I feel like
Mm,
that will be very good for you because it was like last year, you didn't have, like, now that you're talking about it, you didn't have that big goal. We had a huge goal of we want
right.
to be better, a better athlete, but you didn't have an event or something
True.
that you were driven to or
Motivated or driven
yeah.
to.
And I feel like my success last year, even with the dumpster fire of a year that I had, the only reason I could, hit my nutrition, hit these things were because I had an April online qualifier and then I had that big
Mm,
meet in Texas. And I feel like, and I don't know if I can do this, and if I'm on a different than you are too. I feel like when you become an adult and you just feel like that big, huge goal doesn't work anymore, that you need at least two big things to go to or to be in or to that drive you there. And I feel like for the rest of my life, I'm going to need that if I'm doing these workouts. I can't treat myself like a 24-hour fitness or like one of those little
that's exactly what it
gyms
felt
where I
like.
just go in and I feel good doing this and I'm just here for 30 minutes or an hour and I'm completing something. I am a very goal
True.
driven person and I've had many people tell me that, but I just didn't realize
Mm,
what kind of goal I needed.
Right.
and I feel like
You
that's
gotta find your
where
thing.
yeah, and I had been in your shoes. Dave and I had talked about it where you hit the CrossFit ceiling, and I feel
Yeah.
like that's what happened to you last year. Some of us, it takes 10 years to hit it, some it takes 2. It just depends, and
Right.
I've been in those shoes where it was like, "Oh, I hit that ceiling, and now what do I do?" And it was a
Right.
couple years back when I did that, and I did programming with Chris to try to build my percentile up for the open, so then, like, I was doing something for the open and, things like that, or we had a competition or something. If you have
Right.
that you're like, "Oh, I have to get better by this date, or I have to lose weight by this date, or I have to,
And
you know, hit my 160 every day. I have to do" you know, we need
it's a good
those
point.
things, and I feel like the NCC has really, really helped you to buckle down
It's
and
true.
realize that Joycey wants toes bar, handstand push, all these things, but how is she gonna get better? And instead of us telling you like, "Oh, then you need to do those things," gearing up for the NCC has kind of, like, opened your eyes to it.
Percent. And
Yeah.
I think it really helps when you have like a village of people that are encouraging you and they're like obviously you were encouraging me, Joe was, and then David was like, come work with us and stuff. And obviously I had Coach Chris in that one class. He's like, well, since you're doing NCC, we gotta get on the skills. So I'm just
Yeah.
like I'm feeling like I'm getting support from all the places. And Alex Yates was another one who's like, all right, let's do the workouts. Like I just feel very supported in all angles. And sometimes you don't realize what a huge difference that makes when
Mhm.
you have a group of people kind of hoping and cheering for you. But yeah, I think personally, like you said, setting kind of like some kind of like date or some kind of visual is a huge thing that helps for me at least to kind of set myself up in the best way possible for that thing, but also I guess discovering through the process like what's going to work best for me. But yeah, I think that's a great way to kind of do it. I didn't think that's what I needed, and I feel like this NCC thing really helped me realize that, so we're learning as we go. We're finding what works, we're finding what doesn't. You know
We
what I mean?
are. It took me last year to realize that that's what I needed. I don't know how many times people at the gym have told me, Chris told me, Amanda has told me, Dave has told like that that's what we need. And it helps to like
True.
recognize like I can't fix everything. So what can I do to try and help what I have to then if I help that and get better at those things, it's going to translate over and over.
True.
And how much people have said, "Do accessory, accessory, you
Yeah,
know?
that's a big one.
And the biggest thing is when you have time, right? I feel like if you're already like, "Well, I
Yeah.
don't have time after class or before class to do that," you're not ready yet, you
You're
know?
already setting yourself up for that, yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
that just means
true.
you're not ready for that goal then. You want these things, but this is how you have to get there. You're just not ready for it. And a lot of times, of course, we don't want to be like, "Well, I am ready for it. Don't tell me what I want and what I can't." It's just
Right.
if you're not going to do it or you're literally not ready for it and it's just because of time or it's because of life and until that part of yourself can figure it out, then you can be ready for it. Don't take it
It's
as a
true.
negative that you're not ready for it. Take it as a positive to be like, okay, well, I need to focus on this. If I focus on this part of my life
Right.
and figure out things that I can switch to better this part, then you are succeeding in your life. You're figuring out how to be a better adult in a sense to then
True.
be in a better healthy status, I guess. That's how I look at it. That's probably not how anybody else in the world looks at it. But if your life is already out of control, the gym is not going to fix it for you to get better. The gym is going to fix it for you to come and if you're always being mom, 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 dad, 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 you're going to be Blake, you're going to be Joycey, you're going to be Tom, you're going to be that person. And you don't have to think about what are we making for dinner? Do I have to do the dishes? I still have to fold the laundry. I still have, to
Right.
go back and to sign into work. I have to do this. For that hour, you don't have to. But
Sure,
if you
yeah.
want to get better at things and you have to accessory, then you kind of have to figure out your life and organize it in a sense for you to then add more to your working out or your healthy
Right.
weight, you know?
That's true.
Yeah.
So true.
So
Well, look at us getting things done.
I know, right? This was
Yeah.
really good. I feel even better about these goals than last year's goals. I feel
honestly, I do too, man. We're making
right?
headway. We both have things that we gotta focus on this year. So we're just like, oh man,
Yeah.
maybe it's gonna be a gold medal for Blake this year. You know what I mean? I
I
mean,
love you so much, but those ladies were so much heavier
girl,
than
you don't
me.
know that. You do not know that,
There's a couple ladies in my group that lift I'm not gonna
girl.
get to it. So I do have, like, Blake goals, realistic goals, right?
Girl, what do
Some
you mean? That's
realistic goals,
realistic.
and realistic for me is to hit, I don't want to not make a lift. I wanna hit at least 1 snatch and 1 clean and jerk, and then
That's fair.
I want to see how my March programming goes because this week I felt very strong. I felt very good, very
Yeah,
confident in myself for this week, which is really good. So we'll have to see what March brings. But for the Masters Nationals, Blake is very like, unless some people fail in their life,
you're like,
I got 3 or 4 people in front of me right now. Unless they fail,
girl.
I can't fail. The people below
I'm like,
me,
you never. I mean,
you
obviously,
never know
knock
when
on wood.
people go out on the platform. You don't. You can
I
train
was
so
thinking like
hard and then something can happen.
I was thinking of like a Nacho Libre situation, you know, when Nacho thought he wasn't going to compete with Ramses. And then the guy that was going to compete with Ramses get his foot run
Yeah.
over by a cart. And then he's like, oh no, I can't compete anymore. That could be you.
Yeah.
That could be
It
you.
can be. Things can happen.
I can't believe I
Am
took
I
that
gonna go out there
analogy.
and just be like,
Hopefully that
well, I'm
doesn't
just
happen.
gonna get last? No. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna put on my show and be like,
Yes,
I'm gonna my goal is to hit all of my lifts no matter what and
that's
always
right.
shoot for the higher ones. That's my goal. So we will see. I
Remind
know that like if something happens, there can always be a chance for Blake.
That is true.
Yeah.
Remind us where you're gonna have to give us details of where this weightlifting comp is
It's in
for
Salt
our
Lake
listeners in
City.
case they want to go.
Yeah, it's in Utah, Salt Lake City in April. I'll be there April 8th to
April 8th to the 3rd.
I think the
Dang, you heard it here,
competition though
folks.
is the 9th, 10th.
The 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Yeah.
That is a lot of days from the 8th to the 14th.
Well, you also have, I believe it's called the WSO, and that's the other competition that's happening at the same time with
I was
Masters
like,
Nationals, and that is
wow.
that one I'm excited to also be competing in. Then, and that's also why some of our people can do that competition because it's like an opening competition for that
Right.
part. So that's going to be Rochelle's first competition, CJ's first competition.
Ooh,
We have Ella, her daughter, who's
that's
competing.
right.
Bear is also competing. So we're bringing the 2 kids. We have,
That's so cool.
who else? Andrew is also competing. That would be Andrew's first
Is he
competition.
really? Coach
Yeah.
Andrew?
Yeah. So
That's
there's
exciting.
some good things. Rissa, sorry, I call her Rissa, but Carissa is a newer lifter, but she's on vacation during that week, or she would also be lifting in
Um,
that. So we have some really, really great things. Lindsay is gonna be there. I know that's not her first
that's right.
competition, but it's a really big group that's going, and we have some new, very first competition people, some seasoned people.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be really, really fun. And like you said at the beginning of this episode, I'm going to have my mom and I'm going to have my uncle and I'm going to have the kids and the dog. It's going to be different from the last time that when I went to
Right.
Texas. And I'm really excited for it. My
That's awesome.
husband was going to come, but I made him take time off in May instead
I know.
for a better I don't wanna
That's
say a
right. We go
better trip,
for
but for a trip for just me and him and
to
adults.
actually enjoy and not be stressed about comp and actually, I get
Yeah,
that.
I
I
was
get that.
like, "You're gonna take a whole week off of work here compared to 4 days. You're basically gonna be watching the kids for these
True.
days, or do you want where you don't have to watch the kids?" And he was like, "Well, how do you feel? Do you want me there?" And I was like, "I want you of course I want you there, but I'd rather us go to our trip in May." So
Yeah.
It's
Hey,
yeah,
communication, honesty,
yeah.
love it.
And he
I
was
would
like,
too,
"Okay."
so just saying.
He was like, "Of
But
course
yeah,
she would choose it when I'm not here." And I was like, "Yeah, of course she would choose when her birthday is."
I was like, "Do I have your schedule get set?" Like, next time I'm gonna ask him for a copy. I'll be like, "I need a copy for this throuple we are apparently." Like, he
Yeah,
doesn't
I
even say
can't
hi
do
to
that
me at
when
gym
Joe's
class.
there.
I'm just kidding. He doesn't say that anything to me at gym class. Every time I go pick up the kids, I'm just kidding. It's okay. He's on Weston duties.
He is, and I just feel like he's just accepted that you're the second husband, and he's just so weird because he just doesn't talk to anybody, but yet he
It's
talks to me
okay.
about it, and then
He has his
I
moments.
know, but I just love that he accepts the friendships that I have, and when he was like, "Oh,
Oh.
the thing in May is for Joycey," and he's like, "Is it sound weird that, like, the thing in April is for you and I'm not coming for you, but we're doing something for Joycey in May?" And I was like, "Absolutely not, because I feel we would be saving money if we went to this one compared to
Right.
losing
You're
a
like, "When we're
whole
doing
week of
something."
pay, basically, if you go
That's
to
true.
this one." Yeah.
You're like, "And we both wanna go to the other one
Yeah.
also." So,
And
it makes sense.
I'm just like,
You guys need some couple time.
yeah, and I'm like, "Are you gonna have fun lifting?" And he's like, "Watching lifting," and he's like, "Well, I'd have fun because you're having fun." And I'm like, "But
Oh,
you'd be
you're
with
like,
my
"Stop answering
mom."
like that."
Yeah. But I was like, "You'd be with my mom." And he he adores my mom, but I'm also like,
But it is his mom-in-law, so
yeah.
it's always
But it's
yeah.
also like, if he's there, she will basically be like, "Oh, well, he's there to watch the kids, and I'm gonna be here for my kid." And
Okay.
yeah, there's some
That's
things
not
where
like
I'm also like, "Oh my gosh, is she gonna be okay watching them while I'm backstage?" There's gonna be that, but there's also a big group of us that are moms that are going to
mhm,
to the meet. And so, like, there's a couple that we've already talked
mhm.
to that I'm like, "Oh yeah, when you're backstage, I got your kids, like, no problem."
Right.
There's a couple where we're just like, "Okay, that's what we do. We're a big group and we take care of each other, and of course we're gonna watch out for each other's kids."
You gotta love
So,
that.
yeah,
Awesome.
it
Well, it's
is.
gonna be a good turnout, and it's gonna be a good group of people, so
It
it
is.
should be exciting, and like you said, you're gonna have your space and with your family, so it's gonna be fun.
It
It's gonna be a
is.
good time.
All right. If you feel like this podcast is your swig of pre workout, make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you hit that like, give 5 stars, leave a review. Let us know if you like these goal episodes, and let us know what your goal is. If you are doing monthly goals, we love to just give you a fist bump, cheer you on, even check in with you about your goals. So let us
Right.
know. You could comment on, what is it? Sorry, on Spotify. You can leave a review on Apple Podcasts. You can DM us on Instagram about your goal. You can even comment when we put on our little posts about our episode what your goal is. All right. We always
Love it.
like to know if we're doing a PR or if we're no repping episodes. So, again, please let us know. We would love it.
Call us out.
But if you feel like you go to the best gym, if you are the most amazing affiliate owner, we'd like to know how and why. We also want to know how your community feels about you and what you're doing for the community. So if you want to be on our next affiliate segment, we are looking for affiliates. So you can DM us on Instagram at Savagely Scaled, or you can email us at savagelyscaled, the number one, at
Una.
gmail.com. That also goes if you have an episode that you want us to deep dive into. Is that what we really wear at the gym? Should we really be working on accessory? What should I be eating? Types of meal prep. Do you have a nutrition coach in mind? All these things. We can definitely
Right.
deep dive into it. Just again, DM us or leave us a email at savagescaled, the number one, at gmail.com. But on
That's
that
right.
note, don't be a Karen
Be a sharing.
and keep sharing. And until
We meet
at the whiteboard again. Bye.